Welcome everyone to the first episode of Master Dating, where we attempt to give you advice regarding your love life. Our goal is to give you some tips and tricks regarding dating and have some fun along the way. So, let's come together
and join hand in hand.
Let's master date together.
My name is Jesse. I am one of your hosts, and with me today are my two co-hosts, Travis.
How you doing?
And my other co-host, Jake Haps.
How you doing?
So let's go ahead and get started, and I think there's no better place to start on the first episode than with pre-dating. So I think I'll especially look at friend zones, because I think we've all been there, mostly guys.
Yeah.
Some girls, I guess, but we'll talk about that first, and we'll mostly talk about today how to get a date with somebody that you're interested in. So, let's go ahead and start with why do we friend zone others? So, why do guys friend zone girls? Well, that's pretty easy. They don't really. I wouldn't say so. Or at least
honest.
The door is always open.
Let's be honest, yeah.
Yeah, the door is always open when it comes to guys potentially still wanting to get with a girl later. I would say most of the time it's based off of looks.
I would say like a guy will friend zone a girl mainly if he's not attracted to her physically.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a really nice person. You want to keep her as a good friend. You know, that's typically a guy.
I would agree, but the door is still open, right? Like, if you've had a few drinks, maybe she's been, like, really funny that day, and you're like, she has a cool personality. Maybe this is an option.
Yeah, but it depends on where she's at on that scale.
No, it depends on how drunk you are.
I guess so.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that I would ever do something like that. But, you know, you friend zone them not only because they're unattractive, but because, you know, maybe they nagging, or you just don't like their personality, or whatever.
Or maybe just there might be another girl that you're interested in that you feel is more attractive to you and that you get along with better. And the other girl is just better off being your friend.
Right. But what Jesse's trying to say with that door being open is, what if something with that other girl that you like, something doesn't happen?
Something goes sour.
Something goes sour.
Well, there you go. The story changes.
That's true. We will get into why guys friend zone girls as well later on, and how to maybe avoid that. But let's say, why do girls friend zone guys? Because that is definitely the most common. Girls definitely friend zone guys, and that door is pretty well shut. You have to really pry your way back in. I have a couple ideas as to why that might be, so I'm interested to hear what you guys think. But so the two reasons I think girls friend zone guys is because it could be based on time and the connection between the two. So if you've been friends with a girl for a little while, if you've had a few months, you've built a relationship, she may start to, your chances of being in a relationship, like a dating relationship, will start to dwindle as that goes on. And then also, I think a lot of that has to do with whether or not they perceive you as interested in them. Right. So as more time goes on, you haven't asked, you haven't really flirted, they might start to think, okay, he just wants to be friends.
I agree with you there. I feel like girls are looking for that signal.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't see that signal, then they just assume that, oh, he's not interested. And a guy, that's not always true. Sometimes a guy doesn't know how to show that the right way, and misses his opportunity and doesn't intend to be friend zoned.
Yeah,
I
maybe
feel like
he's trying to play it too cool.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're
like
trying to show those intentions, and I feel like if you want to be with a girl, I feel like you need to act sooner rather than later. Be kind and courteous about it, but show those intentions sooner than later, or it's just going to be looked past,
See, that's the key. The key is being early, because, once it's set in her mind or his mind that they're friend zone, it's really, really hard to break that. It's not impossible, though.
No.
Because
it's been done.
It has been done by better men than me, might I add. But it has been done.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you do get friend zoned, then that's when you need to throw all your cards on the table and say, if you really want to go for this girl, or if you really want to go for this guy, that's whenever, and she really friend zones you. You need to smack her in the face with the reality that it's like, hey,
not literally.
This is
guys.
what I want.
Yeah,
no,
not literally.
This is what I want. This is how I feel about you. And there are multiple ways of doing that.
It's been there the whole time.
Right.
Like, I know I haven't been forward about this, but behind the scenes, this is what's been going on. I didn't know how to say it.
Right, exactly.
But you don't want it to get to that point. Because
No,
if you let
that's
it get,
the key.
here's the thing.
Right,
If
yeah.
you let it get to that point, she may be moved on, or she may have another guy.
Right.
And then your chances are
more than
basically
likely-
over.
more
Or you
than
can
likely
lose
she
her
does.
altogether.
Right,
Because
yeah.
you could say, hey, this is how I feel. And she could say, well, I felt that way at one point.
Right.
But now I'm with so-and-so, and I don't want this to be a problem.
I mean, there's millions of fish in the sea, right?
Right. But you got to act fast.
You only want one of those fish, though.
One
That's
of
the
those
point.
fish,
So,
that's right.
yeah, so we're talking about how
Unless you're too
now
much.
can we avoid being in the friend zone. Jacob's brought up a good point of acting early. You may not literally, or figuratively, want to slap her in the face
No,
with...
you don't want to ever do that.
don't literally slap her in the face, but
No.
you may not want to be as aggressive. Maybe thinking to yourself, I don't want to be super upfront. You can flirt in a subtle way, I would say, as long as you're dropping little hints.
You don't
Right.
want to
here and
scare
there.
her.
Yeah,
Right.
You wanna scare her.
I
or
don't
you
want
may just be nervous.
I don't want to throw you guys off on that because I'm not saying you need to slap it as a last resort, and if that's what you want,
Yeah.
you need to make it known. That's all I'm saying. You definitely should not start out that way.
No.
I'm saying if you're friend zoned for a while and you've been in that situation, you need to speak up and say something.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think being subtle about it. I think it's good to maybe test the waters a little bit early on if you are nervous about risking that relationship. So if you want to, just throw in a couple flirts here and there. See how she reacts. If she reacts poorly, you maybe back off a little
back
bit.
off.
And if she's being a little bit more responsive to it, pepper it in a little bit more and more and kind of see how that
Worst
goes.
case scenario, it doesn't work and you've got a good friend.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
usually the goal
But that's
is
not what
we
But
want to
then-
date
Hey,
this
but
one
we're not
girl.
settling
I
for
feel
that,
like if
yeah.
that happens, she wouldn't be my friend anymore. It would be like, okay, well,
Well, to you,
it
to a
didn't work
guy,
out,
Yeah.
That's
so-
the thing. To a guy, you would think that way. It didn't work out. I don't want to be this girl's friend.
yeah.
I wanted to be with her, like, in a relationship or
Now, mind
romantically.
you, if it's years and years and you guys grew up together or whatever,
Yeah.
okay, then I could
That's
see
different.
being a friend.
It's
But
a
if
little
you've known her for a couple of weeks, a month, or whatever, and she puts you in that friend zone, and you say something, and she doesn't react to it like she wants to go further, then it just feels like for a guy
It's almost
and a girl,
awkward.
it's like you're wasting your time at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
I feel like
Because I feel like in the background, you always try.
right,
Even
right.
though you got turned out, I feel like you'll always try it. And you just sometimes just have to move on from that.
right.
So I do think that so in high school I found myself getting into the friend zone a lot, pretty commonly. So at a certain point I was like, whatever, I'll just experiment a little bit and try some things out. So one thing I did was I started to ask girls out sooner than I typically would because I'm kind of shy. I would kind of try to build up a relationship. I would go the months and months before deciding, okay,
play
I
the
want to
long
make
game.
this. I played the long game. You can't really play the long
play the
game
long
all the
game.
time.
Yeah, but it's
So-
a fine line because you don't want to go too soon because you don't want to seem creepy.
I don't know. I'm talking
You know
from
what I
like my
mean?
high school perspective, but I would ask girls out, or I would start, moving that along, maybe a week or two at the most, and
Okay,
I was
say,
more
sure.
successful
But here's the thing.
at that point.
Maybe you're not asking them out that quickly, but you're dropping those hints that quickly.
Right, exactly.
You should at least
Like,
be doing that.
I mean, compliments and
Right.
just like show your interest.
I was asking them out that quickly
I
to
mean,
get a
and
date.
if that
you know?
works for you, that works for you.
I mean, yeah, it's not every time
It's
is this
per
going to be a
case
thing.
because not every girl's. Some girls are like, dude, I'd known you for a week and you're asking me out. But some
Yeah.
girls are like, that's attractive.
but, right?
He's way into me and he wants to go out.
Yeah,
Like, go out as in we're gonna go and get dinner, or you
yeah,
know,
something
not like be in a serious relationship.
like- right.
But some girls are scared of relationships and some girls want the relationship.
I feel like the age too,
Yeah.
plays a pretty big factor in that.
Yeah.
Whether a girl wants a relationship or wants, just
You kind of got to know that girl first. You got to know what you're looking for before anything. Are you looking for a relationship? Are you looking for something serious? Or are you looking for something casual?
right.
Because if you're looking for something serious, you don't want after a girl that's definitely not looking for something serious,
Right.
and vice versa.
Yeah, because I've been there, done that.
Yeah, both ways.
You get screwed over either or,
And same with them; they get screwed up too.
Yeah.
So next I want to look at, along with that, is ways, so we're still on how to avoid the friend zone. And one big thing that I've noticed throughout the years is that girls will test you a little bit. And what I mean by that is you have to get used to
That they
saying, you have to get used to saying no to girls
Yeah.
because a lot of girls, when you have a crush, you want to do everything for them. You want to be the stand-up guy. When they need something, you want to be there. That's what you want to do.
How wrapped around my fingers is this
Exactly.
guy?
Now, you can easily fall into that trap. Girls will start off small, and they will ask you things. So you may be at a party, and, you've all been eating. And you'll go up, you'll stand up to go take your plate to the trash, and she'll be like, can you take this?
But when you go take that plate, she's flirting with your friend next to her.
Yes. And but you can also be like,
Yeah.
you can joke around and be like, you have legs or something. Like, you can go do this. They're testing you to see how much they can get away with.
Yeah.
That's a small example, but you'll see it start to grow. I've known girls that have told me about guys that maybe they thought were attractive or mildly interested in, but they stop themselves. I think throughout the years they kind of mature a little bit, and they say, I can't date him because I'll walk all over him.
Oh, yep.
Have you
I've
run
I've
into
heard
that
that.
before?
Nah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I have.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty common, and I think one of those things you'll notice it because you'll think when they ask you something in the back of your mind, you're like, you probably do that yourself. Why do you need me to do that?
Yeah.
They're pushing you a little bit to see what they can get away with. Now, I'm not saying always say no, don't do anything for girls, but definitely you can play around with that a little bit. And I found girls find it more attractive when you're willing to say no. It's a little bit more of a challenge.
Absolutely. I
Mhm.
agree. Absolutely.
That can hurt me.
You don't want to let anybody walk all over you, for one.
Mhm.
Whether it's a girl or whoever, your
Yeah.
friends or whatever. But absolutely, I agree with Jesse completely. You want to say no. A lot more times I'll say no than I should, I admit. But, that's not to say you won't do things for the girl or you won't help her or get things for her or whatever.
Right.
But it's like, if they're trying to do something to you like that, you could switch around and be like, okay, well, can you get me this? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
switch roles.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So-
it's different when you offer rather than they ask. So,
Definitely.
if a girl is like, I mean, the little example of, can you take my plate? I mean, honestly, I'm just, if I'm going to go throw my plate away, I'm going to grab hers or whatever anyways, just because that's me.
Yeah.
So it's case by case.
Maybe I should clarify because I'm drawing upon a very specific instance where this did happen to me, and it was more of I had taken my plate to the garbage, and then I had come back to the room, and then she was like, "Can you do this?" So I had already been and come back. So yeah, if you're already getting up, it's just kind of common courtesy that you can do that. But
it's like I'm walking through the door, I might as well hold it for you.
But you can kind of feel when they're kind of testing you a little bit. Can you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah.
Another thing, I've seen this around, it's definitely happened to me, and I've been foolish enough to do it. Maybe foolish, depends on how you look at it. But we probably shouldn't be building their furniture for them. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never been in that
You've
situation.
never- I've done
I work
it.
construction, so...
They've done that where I'll be kind of friend-zoned. I'll go with a girl to IKEA, and then she's like, I don't know how to build this. And
Yeah, man, I've never put myself in situations where,
No.
I don't really know the girl.
I mean,
I'm
not
building her
unless you're
furniture.
already in a relationship.
If I'm in a relationship,
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
I'm going to build the
Absolutely.
furniture.
Well, yes,
But
yeah.
if it's some
Half
girl
the time,
that,
the girl won't have a screwdriver or anything.
Yeah.
But I can't say I've been friend zoned by a girl or trying to be in a relationship with a girl and done stuff like that. Hey, look, if you're trying to get your furniture built, go somewhere else because I'm not going to just show up whenever you need something and I'm not getting anything out of it.
Right.
there are plenty of examples along with that too. Like I've heard of girls that will ask the guy, so the guy that's friend zone that's interested, she'll ask him to maybe drive her boyfriend somewhere. You don't want to say yes to that.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. You're just making yourself feel bad.
Or
I've heard plenty of these.
even that, but just driving her everywhere.
That too, yeah.
Because there's a point to where she's got to commit. You know, I got to know it's a real relationship before I'm just gonna taxi you.
That's not to say that you can't.
Right.
Because
there's nothing wrong with giving someone a ride, but if it's every day, I need you to pick me up here, take me there.
Okay,
and
once
pick
or
me up
twice.
here.
I say once or twice.
You know what I
is
say?
fine.
They got Uber.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Once or twice
Sorry.
is fine. And I mean, I feel like if you do it once or twice, it's a good thing.
Oh yeah,
because it shows that you care. You know, and
but you're not gonna do it 5 days a
shows
week.
that you're not a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not gonna.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, once or twice. Okay,
now there's a difference here. Whenever say she goes out frequently, you know, you go out to a bar, get some drinks with her every once in a while. But every once in a while she goes out and has a girls' night, you know, and maybe you're the guy she calls to get that ride home whenever she's drank way too much. In that case, I think I'd say, yeah, I'll come get you, whatever.
Absolutely.
Because there's a difference between you're super drunk, you shouldn't drive, I'll just get you. Then I need you to take me to work, I need you to pick me up from work, I need you to drop me off at my dad's, I need you to pick my boyfriend up, take him there. It's a huge difference.
See, and not only that, but I feel like if a girl's drunk and she's out with her friends and she calls you, that's a huge sign.
That's a big trust
but that's a
factor.
huge sign that says, okay, I trust you so much
To pick me up.
pick you up,
Get me home.
And it's like it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
No.
See, we're talking about two different aspects. You're talking about okay, drive me here, do this, do that, do that.
Yeah.
Or as opposed
That's
to
what I'm saying. There's
hey,
a
I need your
fine
help.
line. But I think at the same time, if that happens too much and there's no relationship that progresses from that, then at some point, no, I'm not going to get you when you're drunk at the bar.
Right.
Yeah.
If I've done this for you every weekend for a month and we have not become something, then no.
Or have done something,
Right.
whatever you're looking for.
Whatever it is that you are looking for.
So how can girls avoid the friend zone with guys? Do you guys have any ideas on that? Because to me, I would say probably just the same as guys. I would flirt. I would maybe put out little feelers here and there. Like I said, the door is always open, so you can kind of walk through it at any point you want to. Varying degrees of work into it. But do you guys have any other ideas as to how a girl can?
I think that if a guy is going to friend zone a girl, a guy is going to make it known. I think if a guy is not going to friend zone a girl, he's going to make that known.
Yeah,
I think
can
the same
see that.
thing with your door is always open. I think if a guy is talking to a girl and he's going to friend zone her, she's going to know like the way the guy talks to a girl is going to make a huge difference. Whether he's going to friend zone or not. I mean, if you're into a girl, you're going to talk to her differently. You're going to say things differently. You're going to text her in the morning. You're going to text her at night. You're going to text her, how's your day been going? All this stuff. If you're friend zoning a girl, you're not gonna be that into her. You might see her every once in a while.
Yeah, and
but you're not gonna text her in the mornings. Hey, good morning.
And a lot of times,
how was work?
When I've done that, friend zoned or whatever, I would stop. I would look at it or whatever. And
you'd ignore the text.
Yeah, I would. I
wouldn't
even
talk
text back.
to her
I would
so
stop.
much.
Yeah.
You'd see her out. Maybe you all go out and get drinks together as a group.
Right.
You would never do anything alone. You would never try to invite her out. To dinner. There would never be any alone time.
Or invite her over to your place.
If you're not going to get friend zoned by a guy, he's going to invite you. He's going to take you to dinner. He's going to invite you over one-on-one. He's going to just try to get that one-on-one time. If a guy is going to friend zone you, you're going to notice you're hanging out in groups. You're not getting those texts throughout the day.
Yeah.
As dumb as that can sound, that's the truth. The guy's you're gonna
because
know.
90% of the time, the guy's probably texting somebody else.
Yeah. A guy is less likely to lead you on than a girl is, I think.
But what if you're dealing with a shy guy that's maybe inviting you out to group settings so he doesn't necessarily put out so he doesn't invite you to the movies and don't want to be nervous about the rejection. That's
true.
And these are things like girls, we assume guys would act this way. This is how they should be acting, putting out little hints there. But some guys don't because they're, playing the long game, or maybe they're not comfortable with that.
Maybe they're afraid to make that move.
It could be. So, but maybe with that, how to get out of the friend zone is what I want to talk about next, and maybe that could apply for girls as far as avoiding the friend zone as well. But like we've been doing, we'll start with guys. So if you're a guy, you've been friend zoned, it's too late. You can't take our advice that we just spoke about, minutes ago. You're already in the trenches. You're friend zoned. How are you going to get out of that damn friend zone?
You've waited too long, my friend.
No, you have a chance.
So this is what it is. If you wait that long, this is what you do. You roll the dice. You're all in. Boom. Yeah. Look, this is it. Slap in the face.
Put it all on the table.
That's what else? That's the only thing you can do.
Yes, but at the same time, if you do that, you risk losing her completely. Yeah, scaring her away, or maybe she's moved on, and like I said, maybe she's pursuing another guy at this point. Like you took too long to pursue another guy, and then she's like, I wanted that with you, but you didn't make it known, so I moved on, and now we're just friends.
Yeah, you have one shot to shoot.
But
at
you
least
need to bring it up.
Yeah, that's
you
literally
need
your
to.
only
That
option.
is that is.
I don't think you have another
if,
option.
If your other option is to not say anything. That's
Right.
what your other option is. So you need to roll those dice, because if you don't, then you're always going to look back and say, "This is what I could have. I could have had a shot. I could have." And then in your head, you're going to be thinking, "Oh, if I would have done this, maybe this would have changed. If I would have done that." But if you don't do anything, then you're just shit's creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I would agree with you you're definitely going to regret not saying anything.
Absolutely.
I would say that when you do go for it, I have some ideas. Maybe you'll disagree, maybe you'll agree. I don't know. We'll see what Travis says too. I have some ideas that can maybe bump up the chances, maybe lay a little bit of a groundwork to maybe move the odds in your direction. You're smiling already because you know you want to disagree with me. But I'm going to bring it up anyway. So, first things first, if you're being friend zoned by a girl, they probably know that your attention is going to them. You're probably always, they know that they can rely on you. They know that they can rely on you having the attention. And we've probably all been in this spot where somebody's giving you attention, and it's so much that your ego is kind of inflated. And you're like, oh my gosh, he won't stop messaging me, or she won't stop messaging me so much. But then if you remove that attention, if that person then transfers that attention to somebody else, you feel like you need to have it back. Now your kind of ego's deflated a little bit, is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, if you have a girl you're friend zoned and you want to try to make her want you a little bit more, I would start to toy with the idea of maybe flirting with some of her friends or other girls. It doesn't even need to be your friend.
It's that jealous factor that you're
Yes.
trying to pick at.
Mm-hmm. But you're playing a huge risk.
No, you're not trying
Not
to make her
necessarily.
mad. But you have every right, if she has not made it known, if she's friend zoned you and shown zero interest,
Okay.
it's almost her fault.
But here's the thing. Do you think that if they're really her friends, do you think her friends would go for you? Because
If her friends know,
her friends know. I mean, she's
they're
telling
good
her friends. She is telling her friends.
If they're good
Let's
friends.
be honest, or he, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're telling their friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
okay, think
Yeah.
about it this way.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
got
think
you.
about it this way. If a girl was coming up to me and doing that and nagging me and everything, and then I was like, okay, whatever, and I left it alone, and then they started flirting with you, would you go after that girl? If I was like,
Dude, I really do like her.
No. If I didn't want anything to do with her, but she was just knowing, you could see how she's acting.
Yeah. No,
That would
I
just be a
wouldn't.
huge turn
I
off
wouldn't.
for me.
Yeah.
But to be
You
fair,
know, and I
guys
would
and
be
girls
telling-
are different.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
But I would be telling you that, she's doing this and
She's
this,
nuts.
whatever. Yeah,
She's
she's
nutty.
crazy. And
Yeah.
that's what I would refer to as a crazy biatch. You know what I'm saying?
You're good at disconnecting yourself
You
from
are
scenarios
good, yeah.
like that. I would say the majority of people probably aren't. And the reason I say that showing attention to other girls, I want to clarify, your intentions are not to date this other girl. You don't even have to be talking to them about dating. Maybe you can find one that you think is interested in you and you can strike up a conversation. But the idea is to go talk to another girl. It can be about anything. I don't care if you're talking about Star Wars or whatever. You're off in the distance. You're talking. She sees you talking with another girl laughing with you and showing that attention.
I see what you're
In
saying.
her mind, she's thinking,
Well,
he's
he
not
used
into
to
me
like
anymore.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, at some point, you're trying all angles and trying to pick at that jealousy nerve, and it's either going to work or it's not. It's going
Right.
to work, and she'll come out and say, "Hey, because she's going to notice. All right, he's moving on.
Right.
I've toyed with him a little bit. I've not been honest, and I've not been flirty. But I need to. Now she's got to put her cards on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honestly, if we're just trying to play that jealousy factor and make a play off that, then she doesn't have to put all her cards on the table. All she's got to do is be honest with you.
Yeah, or she may not give two shits.
No, that's
it
true.
may not be
She
a
may
thing.
say, "Have a good time." I'm not interested anyway.
Yeah, but this can be a good way to maybe shift things a little bit more in your direction. So you're
Yeah.
not constantly at her, and then maybe you throw all your cards down on the table. She's instantly going to say no. Maybe now she's in more of a position where she's trying to get you back, and now she'll be happy to get you back. It could land you back in the friend zone, but I think you need to be straight and upfront when you go back
Yeah.
and say, you really need to kind of push that out.
But before you make that known, make her feel like she's now in that friend zone.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about trying to improve yourself a little bit before you go for it? What I mean by this is do something to make her say, "Oh, you seem different." Maybe you try to improve yourself, work out a little bit. Change yourself up because she has an image of you. She knows you as a person. She's friend zoned that person. Maybe if you change up a little bit, and I don't mean necessarily just work out. I mean do stuff to make you happier. Maybe more social in different group events to where you feel better about yourself. You've upped your confidence. Girls will pick up on that and they'll appreciate that. I think that could be a way to change things up and shift as well. And then also along with that, worst case, if it still doesn't work out, you should be in a better position to move on at that point.
See, that I can agree with.
Because you like moving on.
Yeah, but the
Jake,
thing
you're real quick and easy to say, nah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just me.
Hey, but that's good.
And some of our listeners are probably the same way. They can cut things off a little bit easier. But some are more like me, where they clean.
You're talking about changing how you are in a social aspect. You're talking about changing your appearance. Maybe changing who you hang out with.
Social status.
You know what?
Just improving.
You know what? That's going to take time.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Time is money.
Yeah.
Time goes on and on. And while you're too busy worrying about fixing yourself up, doing this, doing that, meet new people, doing whatever to impress one girl, she is probably going to be talking to somebody else, or she's probably going to be doing her own thing, or
but
whatever.
But you can't not improve yourself.
Or
you've got to improve yourself.
Because you would have to do that after.
But you can do that
anyway.
along
But I
the
see
way.
what you're saying, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You know,
so I feel like regardless, you get screwed over just because of the time that it's going to take for you to...
Or maybe you don't have to, say, oh, I need to, in the next month, have a six-pack and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah. But
maybe you just need to be mindful of, I need to conversate better.
Mm-hmm.
I need to hold more of a conversation. Maybe there's things that you notice or you start to notice just from scrolling through texts or when you're hanging out, like, man, I need to fill those gaps better. Or, it's easier things. And I know it's easier said than done, especially for people that are a little more socially awkward or shy.
Yeah.
But I think it's little things like that could win a girl over.
Okay.
And not only just holding conversation, but be yourself, be genuine. Because you don't want to start out one way and then end up another way.
Right, yeah, absolutely. You always want to be genuine 100%. That's with everything you do. You don't want to be somebody else. You don't want to try to be somebody else.
Don't fake it.
But the thing is, working on those little things, if, texting or doing, whatever, those little things, I feel like, personally, I don't think it would persuade or push somebody over the limit to be to be more attractive or to want to cross that
not to you
relationship
but
line. Some
girls they don't pay attention so much. Like they may say, I'm not like he's not the most attractive guy in the world, but he treats me the best, and that's enough for some girls.
Yeah, but then she's settling, and you don't want that
no,
either.
No, she's not settling.
What you just said, but he might not be da-da-da, but da-da-da. That's settling.
No,
whatever
it's not.
You fill in the blanks.
Because maybe
might not
maybe
be
there's
da-da-da because you're
maybe
looking
there's
for
another
that
guy.
Might not be.
Maybe there's another
so if
guy.
You don't have that, then it is settling.
Maybe there's another guy that's super attractive, but he's just a dick. Now,
okay, well,
think about this.
Not,
this is something you got to think about.
Then that would be settling with him as well.
Something you got to think about. When you're 60, 70 years old, you're both going to be ass ugly. So you want to be. I would rather be with somebody that is going to treat me the best and be respectful and kind.
Agree, absolutely.
And someone that you're always going to get along with. Someone that's real and genuine. But yeah, you do want that attraction.
Absolutely, you want the attraction.
You always want that attraction.
I think girls find personality to be a heavier influence on dating someone than looks.
I'm sure there's a poll out there.
I'm looking at one
where girls rate attraction under personality.
So here's a survey from GQ where women found 51% of women found pudgy men attractive. So I mean, it's still kind of split, but yeah, more of the dad bod is taking.
They have
I'm
more
looking
fun
for
with
one.
them. I don't know.
I'm trying to see. I know there was one. If you guys want to talk or something, I'll try to find this stat. But I know there's one on girls finding personality more attractive.
I know there's
over,
two.
over
But,
yeah.
I've heard many
okay,
different
you might say,
polls about this,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
true
yeah,
because
yeah,
you hear
but
girls.
what is
even speak
the
of that.
first thing that's going to attract you to somebody? What's the first
for
thing?
a guy
For
with
not
big
for
looks.
anybody.
Well,
For anybody.
before a word comes out of their mouth, you gotta at least say she's really attractive or he's really attractive, or you're not gonna make the effort to talk to them.
I do agree with that because that's
But
something
you're gonna
like
meet
Tinder.
people that they're attractive, they're more attractive, but they're still attractive. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I think their personality will outweigh their looks. So sure, I
Yes,
know you're saying that like
100%.
at first glance you're gonna immediately look at somebody's looks. And you're gonna say I find them attractive or I don't. But if you're able to still talk to a girl, maybe she doesn't find you all that attractive, but I think your personality will still outweigh that. So if you're fun,
Yeah.
if you're, I think
Sure,
humor.
but- right.
I
And
think
there
meeting
are
somebody
instances
for
where-
a relationship is different than meeting somebody and just trying to hook up.
Right. Well,
Those are two different instances.
There are occasions where I was like, okay, this girl I'm attracted to this girl just by looks, but then when I talk to her
You're not.
or whatever, it is absolutely. It's like,
And what do you
okay,
do to
I
that
am-
girl?
I
She's
mean,
gone.
you're
You
talking about
push her to the
100 to
wayside.
0 in a snap.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay,
That's why you can have somebody that's not the hottest person in the world, but they're really attractive to you.
Mhm.
But their personality, you jive with them, and it's just amazing.
I agree. But what
That's
I'm
what I'm
trying to
getting
say is the number one, the first thing you notice, guys or girls, is being attractive is their looks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, before a word's spoken, you're going to know right away if you want to talk to them or you
and
don't.
either that continues or it doesn't. There are occasions where it's like, you look at a girl or girls look at guys and they're like, that she's not very attractive or he's not very attractive. But, whatever, I don't have anything else to do. I'll give it a shot, start talking to him. And then you become more attracted and more attracted to them.
You
Just
find
because
more
the
attractive
personality.
features of somebody, the more you connect.
Right.
You see more attractive things about them. It's just that good old fashioned saying, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
It all goes back to that.
Yeah.
So here, why don't
But
we?
there has to be initial physical attraction.
Yes.
Well, I agree with that
Yeah.
too. Why don't we transition now to the girls aspect? So how can a girl get out of the friend zone with a guy? I feel like this one might be kind of quick for us. but-
Well, honestly, how can a girl get out of the friend zone with a guy? A girl will never get out of the friend zone with a guy. And here's why.
okay.
If a girl's in the friend zone, she's not attracted to that guy. If a girl's out of the friend zone,
Mhm.
she's attractive enough for there to be something small, even if it's a one night stand.
I agree with you there because
Yeah.
my perspective was going to be you could probably have a fling with that guy.
Yeah.
If you timed it right, if you made your intentions clear. But if you're wanting to have a long relationship and you've been friend zone, if you put time in with that person, I think you're right. I think at that
I think you're
point the
stuck
guy
in the
has
friend zone.
made up that
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
In that time. That's not to say years later.
Well, yeah.
Well, then she would
that's
have to
true.
on
maybe
down the road.
Yeah.
It's
you
true, but
couldn't-
why would you stick around for years? in
And
friend
you
zone?
might not stick around.
Yeah.
You
You
know
may
what
bump
I
into
mean?
each other down the road.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And here's another case to that. Maybe the guy that you're friend zoned with, ladies, if you're friend zoned with a guy, maybe that guy is in a relationship right now, and that's why you're friend zoned. Maybe that relationship either has to expire, and then
Well,
you
I
can
feel
move
like
out
the
of
girl
friend
should
zone.
know if the dude's in a relationship,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But J-Caps, you as a single guy, if you find a girl really attractive, would that stop you from at least making it known?
No.
Not
But
all
then-
the time.
but
Sometimes,
then
yes.
But then the girl would say, "Hey, sorry, I'm in a
Right,
relationship."
and you're not going to
or
push
whatever.
that.
And then I'm like,
you're,
okay.
you're not going to push that.
Right,
You're
yeah,
going to at that
absolutely.
point. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
I understand. Totally understand.
Right,
You know?
right. Sorry, I'd be like, sorry,
Yeah,
I
not
didn't-
trying
no
to step
offense
on
or
his
anything.
feet. or
Right,
anything.
absolutely.
Not trying to offend you.
Right.
I just felt like this for a long time, and I just want to tell you.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
and we don't. Nothing can ever has to be said about it again, and that's that.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I have a theory on that too. We're supposed to be
Yeah.
talking girls, but I do want to touch on this a little bit because I do have some ideas with that.
Combo.
So a little side conversation with that. So and maybe it goes both ways, guys and girls. But if you are interested in somebody and they're in a relationship, I still think, like you said, I think we're saying in an unintentional way, you ask them out and they're like, oh no, sorry, I'm in a relationship. I still think if they're in a relationship and you're interested and you don't think it'll last, I think let your intentions be known. Here's why. Hear me out. Don't judge me yet. All right? Here's what I'm saying. So how many of us know...
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying
I
that.
wouldn't know.
I am not saying that. Let me get this
If
damn
you're
thought
playing-
out.
If you're
Would you let
playing
me
the
talk?
field, if you're playing the field,
If
all
he's
right,
playing
I
the
can see
field,
that.
you got nothing to lose.
Other than that, you're just an asshole, Jesse.
If you got nothing
Hold
to
on.
lose,
I'm just throwing it out there.
How
if
many
you're going for a
times...
number,
My goddamn say this. How many times have we've all known that guy or girl, maybe in school or just in regular life, where it seems like they're always in a relationship? And I've tried this the honest way, okay, and I'm bringing this up because it kind of works.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody that you're interested in and they seem to always be in a relationship, you can do it the honest way. When they're out of the relationship, then you start messaging them, then you start talking about them, or start talking to them, and you start making your intentions known.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe at that point she says, I'm sorry, I'm in a relationship again. What the issue is that you've started late. You need to have the head start early. If she's on her way out mentally in that relationship, I'm not saying try to go date her or anything within that.
put it in her
but
mind.
maybe
Plant the seed.
Plant the seed
Okay.
is what I'm saying.
I see where you're
So
going.
then when she's out of that relationship, her first thought is about you. So the guy that's doing it the honest way is probably going to be late to the party.
Or
Go ahead. What you got?
Or you're
That's a
gonna
risk.
be a rebound.
Or you're going to be a rebound,
You're
is
gonna
what
be
I'm
a
saying.
rebound, sure.
But
Or it's a risk because you're talking about talking to a girl who's already in a relationship, or maybe not talk to her, but letting her
But-
know
but
that
just
you
saying-
like her.
yeah.
She's on her way out.
You know,
if
That
she's on
could
her
be-
way out,
it
I'm not
could be
saying.
a risk because if the dude finds out,
Well, that's another thing too. You don't
you
want to.
are fucked.
That's what I'm saying. You are doing this in a very light,
You're not.
subtle
She
way.
is.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to push that. You don't want to get yourself into conflict.
Yeah.
But
Of
if
course.
this is somebody that you talk to regularly, you could maybe lay some really subtle hints.
Before lay
Just
the
you can
pipe.
just flirt around. You can just joke around with this person. You can almost maybe put yourself in a friend zone position, and then once she's out of a relationship, transition around.
No,
What, Jake Haps?
I would never, ever, if I wanted a girl, I would never, ever, ever put myself in a friend zone situation. If I
Yeah,
wanted to,
okay.
if I wanted to be that girl,
I hear
if
you.
I
Let
wanted
me
to be with that
clarify
girl,
then.
I would never.
I know where you're going because I know how you are. I know what you mean. You're gonna make it known, and if it's not gonna happen, you're cutting it off
That's
and
it.
you're moving on.
I'm out.
You're not wasting your time.
Yeah.
But think about
yeah,
this
I can
as
agree
I'm
with you
talking
there.
about a scenario where
I can
this
agree
is
with
the
you
girl that
This is your
you've
dream
known
girl.
for a while. This is your dream girl. This is
Okay.
the one. If you mess this up, then you're like, well, shit, what do I do now? So if you're really going after that, I think you're not
She's
going to
your
go up to her.
HS.
HS.
No.
Let
High
that-
school?
No. Let that stew in your mind.
Okay, well,
No.
it's probably not
he
safe.
already knows. He already knows
I
where I
don't know.
went.
But
You'll pick that up later.
He's an idiot.
I think you want to make yourself a little bit closer to that person. You don't want to cause conflict because obviously you don't want to cause tension with yourself and this boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever it is. But I do think you shouldn't hold back and kind of sit around and wait for that breakup notice on Facebook and then
Breakup
message them and
notice.
be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Status.
I think you can do it in a subtle way. Does that make sense? Maybe
Yeah.
I don't have
No.
it fine tuned. This
I,
is a side
I
combo,
think
but-
that I agree with you.
okay.
I don't.
That's going to be a common.
Maybe you got nothing going on, and this is that time where you run into each other down the road
Mhm.
that you were referring to, Jake.
That's a solid way too.
Sure.
I think that's
You know.
always good.
You know,
And
if fate's always
maybe
gonna
it's
play out.
maybe it's down the road, and you run into her again, and she's on her way out, and it just happens that way.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's necessarily a strategy to like maybe it could be. It could
I mean,
be
I
to
wouldn't rely
distance
on
yourself.
it. Wouldn't rely
I feel
on
like
it. but-
if
return.
it's
Wouldn't
to
count on
that, if it's okay, I feel like okay, I want to get with this girl, but every time that she would get out of a relationship, you would step in. She's talking about somebody else or whatever,
Make
and if
you
that
sound-
happened over and over again, I would just say, hey, that's just fate. It's not meant to be.
Here's
to
another
me,
thing.
That would be my perspective.
Here's
and I
another
would
way to
just
look
let
at
it
that.
go.
Here's another way to look at that. And this is the way that I myself personally look at that. If I'm in a relationship with a girl and a girl tries talking to me, you know what it makes me think of that girl? I would say, I don't think I could trust her if I were dating her. Because
that's
if I were
true,
dating
too.
her, and
Absolutely.
That
who's
is true.
to stop her from talking to anybody?
So
else?
That's
pretty
fair.
much you're just screwing yourself over by doing that.
Maybe
Depends
she
on how you do
maybe
it.
she
Who's
plays
to
into
say?
you like, he's talking to me, I know I'm dating somebody, and then she gets out of the relationship and then starts dating you. Who's to say another guy doesn't talk to her and she
Yeah.
goes to that guy, or vice versa?
In my experience, I think it can go one way or another. I think the person,
You're right, it could.
the person who is cheating, or at least when
There's
I've
no-
talked to
that's not-
people, the person that is cheating on, let's just make it easy. Let's say they're cheating on their spouse.
Okay.
When I've talked to people that have done that, they usually say, "Oh, it's worse to be the person that's like the mistress or whatever, because you're like breaking up the marriage." But the reverse way is also that if you're, let's say, the mistress or whatever, you're saying, "Well, at least I'm not cheating on my spouse or whatever." So I think maybe people are in one category or another. I don't know if this is necessarily good, but I wouldn't trust someone, like if I met somebody and they're married and they're, trying to start a side thing with me,
It's
I
hard to
wouldn't
trust
be
that
able to
person.
trust that person.
Yeah.
But what I am referring to is I am saying date somebody when they're out of the relationship. I'm
Yeah.
not saying date them while
I see
they're
what
with
you're saying.
someone.
You know, they're mentally on their way out, and you're just planting a seed.
Yeah, because they're
Not
gonna
trying
be,
to
they're
pursue
gonna
them,
look
Right.
for
They're not
I mean-
pursuing you.
Yeah, exactly.
But whenever it's officially over and there's been some time, then you guys begin talking.
Right.
That I can get behind.
Okay.
But the whole in a solid relationship thing and the whole talking to each other. Well,
Don't cheat. Yeah.
that-
don't cheat and
I
don't.
feel like that would make me not attracted to the person that was talking to me while I was in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I would look at that girl and I would say, I could never trust you.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Because even if you really like that girl, even if she is the one,
It's a turn-off.
it makes it hard to trust at that point. And then when you're in a solid relationship, years down the line, you are gonna have those thoughts, and it's just the problem.
Yeah.
So I am saying don't cheat. So
Don't
stop looking at me like that.
do that.
I'm not saying cheat. Why don't we go back to the topic we were supposed to be on and talk about? Do we have more to add on how girls can get out of the friend zone? Did you have more to
Did
add
you have
with
anything on
that?
How girls can get out of the
Get out
friend
of
zone?
the
Yeah,
friend zone. I was saying when they're in the friend, a girl's in the friend zone, she's in the friend zone. Unless there's a relationship going and that relationship
Yeah, I
ends.
could see that.
Then she may be able to leave that friend zone.
If a girl's in a friend zone, if you put a girl in a friend zone,
To
I
me, she
feel
stays.
like, think about it this way. If, it depends on why she's in the friend zone. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Why, and can she better the why to more attract you? And I'm not saying to do this just for you, but to do this for herself or for, just for self-confidence and everything else, and for other guys too,
Yeah.
Can she better herself? And say you friend zone a girl because you don't like hanging around her because she whines, she's clingy, she's annoying.
Friend zone.
That's exactly what I would say.
And to me, if
Friend
I
zone.
know that about her, she's never leaving the old zone.
See,
The old
but
life is
if
easy.
she starts acting different and if she stops being so annoying and clingy,
But are you going to
and
give her that
anno-
chance to prove
and-
that after
and
you already
naggy?
have that view?
If you're still talking to her,
Yeah.
I guess to a degree.
I guess the
But
way
if you're
you
not
would
talking
find
to her,
out.
you wouldn't.
I guess the only way you'd really find out is because you'd know, for sure, I'm never hanging out with this girl one-on-one again. The only way you'd really find out is if you were in a group setting again, and you're like, well, she's actually
Yeah.
different.
I could see that.
She's
yeah.
not so clingy and weird. And
Yeah. There's a couple people that I know that
Maybe.
I've kind of done that
Or-
too. And I'm not saying that I would want to date them or do anything with them or whatever, but
Yeah.
I just in general as a person,
You've seen
I
a
feel like
change. You've
I've seen a change,
Okay.
And it's like, okay, well, not that I would date you, but okay, maybe I would hang out with you or do.
I'm not
something.
saying that won't happen. I just think that's a rare case.
It is. Yep, it is rare.
Because most of the time,
Absolutely.
I feel like if a guy friend zones a girl, that girl's not leaving friend zone.
I would say it's more locked in.
Yeah. Because I think set in stone. Like
unless it's like a fling, I think that door is the door that's open. I think an actual like long-term relationship, that is a little bit.
I feel like a guy places a girl in the friend zone the second he decides I wouldn't even have a fling with her, even if I were single.
Okay.
And then at that point, if you're that girl in the friend zone,
sure,
you're stuck.
Yeah.
So
there's no hope, is what we're saying.
No hope. Well, there's hope, but which girl are you? Are you the girl that would never have that? I don't know. It just depends. It really depends. Like which girl are you? Are you the girl that Jake was describing? The rare case where you end up in a group setting together again, and this girl's different, like genuinely different. She's not the way I saw her before. Maybe it was you perceived her differently, and you screwed that up on your own. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, she's out of the friend zone at that point. But if it's a girl that's like, you're a single guy, she's a single girl, and you're like, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
We're both single, and you're still saying hell no. She's always going to be in the friend zone.
Yeah, always. I agree.
So, yeah, I do too. I do want to bring up, just to talk to our audience real quick, if you're in your car and you're a girl and you're yelling and you're like, no, you can totally get out of the friend zone if you're a girl. If you're a guy and you've said, oh, yeah, I knew a girl, I had her in the friend zone, but now we're dating.
Tell us that stuff.
If you want to let us
please.
know, I'll have an email in the description that you can email and let us know. We can talk about that in another episode.
We'll start bringing up as we go along and start getting these emails and comments and things like that. We'll actually bring these up. Especially if you want to be anonymous, we're not going to shout you out,
right?
But
we'll bring unless you want to.
We'll bring up your cases, and it'll give us more talking points on the different possibilities that we have never experienced.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, there are different perspectives that we're very interested in hearing about outside of our own. But I'll talk more about that towards the end. But that is an option.